Alright, hello there YouTube, and welcome back to Aw, Aren't They So Cute? With Bruised here, where today we're going to be taking a look at, this is a companion, obviously related, Spirit Walker, level 85, insert Pokemon joke here. Believe it or not, there's a lot of Pokemon jokes about these characters. So here we are, we have all of our companions going on. I've been playing this build for quite a little bit now. I had a buddy that wanted to level up a character, and so made this character, because I'd been craving a minion character, and I haven't been having so much fun that I decided that I would actually make a video about this character. This is another overly popular character, but I think I added a twist to it that I don't see a lot of people doing, or when I was looking at least at, some streamers and PoE Ninja and all that kind of stuff, it looks like nobody really does one thing, which is I'm using Giant's Blood. Now, to be fair, I don't actually know if other people are using it and on the like the gloves that give you Giant's Blood, and then they're just sticking over here to this side of the tree and getting enough stats on their gear. I don't know. But we're using Giant's Blood because our companions gain 60% of our main hand weapon's damage. So then we use a big two-handed mace in our main hand, and they get a lot of damage from it. And I feel like I haven't seen a lot of people really utilizing that. So maybe there's a reason for that, maybe not. Either way, I have been running it, and the damage from them feels really, really smooth, really strong. Like, they are cranking some damage out here, so that feels great. And I just felt like showcasing the character of the build a little bit. This character is still not completely put together. I actually have a few more things to do. Actually, pretty much right after I wrap up this video here, I'm going to start stream. And hopefully we'll be getting 4th lab, where I'll be taking Idolatry as well. But in the meantime, let's just go run a map. I'll show you just kind of how the build plays. But I mean, honestly, I'm sure if you know minion builds at all, this is a fairly passive minion build going on. We don't have a ton that we are doing as we're running around. We're letting our minions take care of everything. I'll be honest, I'm gonna skip this Delirium. We're just gonna try to keep things moving, and Delirium will kind of slow things down a bit. Yeah, and then we have, we're also running Sylvan's Effigy, which is a new unique that was added this league, which lets you have as many companions, as long as they're different companions. I'll let you have as many companions as you can hold, and have the spirit for. And then it itself has a command skill where you summon a bunch of ghost wolves to go out and attack, and yeah, it itself is a wolf and does some really good damage. So I've been rocking that. What do you have? And I'm still trying to keep an eye out for any, like, decent beasts to replace. I think I have, like, 2 beasts that realistically could be replaced that I just haven't found anything super spectacular to swap them out for yet. And the, our big boy here, our unique tamed beast here, is of course the big monkey from Act 3. There is a map variant as well, but this is just the one that I still have from Act 3. I don't actually know if he has a different attack in the map version at all. I don't think he does. But regardless, I'm still just running this guy. And he do, in fact, slap out some crazy good damage. I've tried out some other unique beasts. Like, I've tried the burrower, like the big tunneling worm that spews poison and all that kind of stuff. And that character, or that beast was, like, decent, but it did good damage, I'll say. But the problem that I had with it was that it would just stick in place. It really wouldn't travel with you like the monkey here does. Like, it really didn't move. It would just kind of sit there. Oh, it would just sit there for a minute, and then it would teleport. And that was all that it would do, is it would teleport around. And I was very not. I wasn't keen about that, because it just oftentimes meant that it really didn't attack or do a whole lot of anything if any monsters were even remotely outside of its range. So wasn't crazy about that one. The Crowbell is pretty decent, and part of me wants to try out the Chimera and the oh, what's the other one? Chimera, and oh, the big scorpion that you see in the interlude acts as well, the big scorpion boss. I think there is also a map version of that, and I might try to grab that at some point because I am curious. I think that's a whole lot of nothing up there. Hoof it. The other cool thing about the mace that we are rocking is that we do get shrines. As you can see, they're popping up as we're running along. And some of the shrines that you can get, it kind of surprised me. I didn't realize all of the shrines that are available to you. You can get the, you can get experience shrines. Oh, hey, speaking of, you can get, it's these guys. I actually might try to grab the scorpion here. Ow. Oh, I don't have it on my bar. Where is it? No, I didn't get it. It died too quickly. That's okay, at least now I know which map it is that needs the... Yay! Okay, I think we got pretty much everything outside of the rares and stuff. I believe. Bonk. Oh, summoning circle. Oh, that's right. That was the thing with this map, is that there was a summoning circle. I forgot. That's the command skill. There's the Tempest. Let's summon another boss. Ooh. I'm dead. Oh, actually, Big Boy died. Oh, and now he's dead. Nice. Okay. That's it. It's now checked, so we should be all good. We just got our 2 bosses in with that. I forgot that was the reason why I wanted to do this map in particular, is because there was a summoning circle that had 2 bosses in it. Oh, the good thing we ran around a little bit more. Cool. Alright. That's mapping with this character. Yeah. So that's usually how it goes. Like I said, it's very passive. If you have Sylvans, then you're at least having your Eternal Hunt. You can just run around and just keep using that while you're going around. But otherwise, if you don't have Sylvans, then you're probably running something just like a mallet, one of the Malice Scepters. In your offhand, you're just running around using that, and then you're probably just using Sniper Mark and just Pain Offering one of your clerics whenever the time comes. And that's, I mean, yeah, that's about all that you'll be doing. Like I said, very classic minion build. I don't typically go for these types of builds, but I actually have been having a lot of fun. I kind of was craving, every now and again, I get into a mood where I crave playing a minion build, and so here we are. With that though, I guess we'll go over gears. Gears? I'm talking about Gears E-Day apparently. Let's go over some gear, and I will talk about, or I will keep saying gear. I can't stop saying gear. Gems. We're gonna talk about gems. Holy. So while I was leveling, I like to make myself suffer, and I very much so was leveling using Skeleton Sniper, Arsonist, the Skeletal Warriors with that scepter. I was very much so doing a minion build early on, while not really having anything to lean into minion skills. Would highly recommend not doing that, because it was very painful. Because if you see our tree here, we have nothing but travel nodes for a very long time. And even these companion nodes, you can't get companions until like level 22. So it's kind of very painful until you get yourself all the way down, or until you get yourself your first companion, and actually even until you get first ascendancy. Once you get first ascendancy, the Wild Protector here is actually really, really solid and kind of brings a lot of that early game potential out for running companions. So that's when you'll start to actually feel it. So in the meantime, I'd recommend just doing a standard spear build, maybe even actually allocate some damage nodes for spears, and then respec yourself back into a companion build, unless you want to suffer like I did. So you could just do some very usual stuff. Do Twister, do with Whirling Slash if you want to, do Lightning Spear if you want to, do some bleed stuff if you want to, with like Rake plus Spear Field, and Blood Hunt and all that good stuff. The choices are all up to you, truthfully, as far as all of that goes. So do whatever you want, but realistically, once you get to Tame Beast, then you should use Tame Beast in. That is will honestly make your life a lot better. I did use for a while Bloodhound Mark as well for a good chunk of time. I'm actually still not sure if I prefer Sniper Mark or if I prefer Bloodhound's Mark, truthfully. And the reason is that Sniper Mark is obviously great. It gives just like another like really big extra chunk of damage that they're taking. But the thing is that once that crit goes off, once they get crit, which we have quite a few companions right now, once they get crit, the mark disappears, which means we're no longer getting the benefit of companions dealing damage to marked targets from that. So I might actually wind up switching back to Bloodhound's Mark anyway. I am using a bunch of minions that are bleeding, and so Sniper Mark might just fall to the wayside. But there are, of course, options if you were to if you wanted to do more of a crit focused companion setup, or if you wanted to do more of like the elemental stuff, maybe do a freezing mark instead on them, or something along those lines, just to kind of keep that buff up for a longer period of time. Otherwise, other gem wise, like I said, we're using Wild Protector. We got Armor Break on it. I really wanted to lean more into the full Fizz thing, so you'll see that with all of our skills here. We got Hulking Minions just to make them gigantic. We have Pin 2 and Rapid Attacks 2. And the other reason we're using Pin is because companions deal 60% increased damage against immobilized enemies. So pinning counts, heavy stunning counts. Both of those things happen fairly often. The Wild Protector does quite a good slot of damage to be able to get the pin going, and then just rapid attacks for the sake of having rapid attacks. I don't know what I'll put into the final slot here to figure something else out as far as that goes. Maybe just Heft, just to kind of lean into some more damage over here that I'm actually not 100% certain on. Asmirian Wolf here, Minion Mastery, Bidding 3. This just makes it so that the when you use the Hunt skill, it has a much faster recovery, so you can just kind of spam it a good bit more. Minion Splash, which is just nice, and Heft on it just to give them some more damage. Sniper Mark here, like I was saying, Charge Mark and cooldown recovery, just so we can use it faster. And this will also give us some shocked ground on the floor, which is also never going to be a bad thing. So right now I have a Quadrilla. Obviously I have the big Pillar Smasher one, but I have another one here too. And this one just has Barrages, extra energy shield, heals allies, suppresses foe recovery. Not really a huge deal. Don't really care about this guy. Same with this Dune Lurker. This is Fizz damage aura, breaks armor, and unleashes lightning. This guy is actually has a good setup. I would actually love to have one that has the extra Fizz damage aura, but the problem is that this is those little Dune Lurkers that like leap out of the ground. And while he's underground, you don't get that extra Fizz damage aura. It's only when he pops up to attack. And sometimes he'll pop up for like a second to attack and then goes back down underground. So ideally get yourself one that is actually, get an extra Fizz damage aura one that is actually above ground all the time. I'm still kind of looking for one to do that. I think one of those Vile Vultures is probably one of the best ones that you could get if I really had to, if I wanted to do what I had, or a Quadrilla as well, like we have here. If he had extra Fizz damage aura, that'd be great. Getting yourself one with Haste aura would be nice. Realistically, anything that just kind of gives either, you know, more speed, more damage, or makes your life a little bit better. So extra energy shield, the energy shield aura that you could get is also probably not bad as well. So lots of things to kind of look into as far as the companions go. Just kind of keep your eyes peeled. I kind of recommend always just having a Tame Beast slotted into your skill gems, so that you can always just kind of be running around and be ready, so that if you do happen to find a good beast, you can just instantly grab it, pull the trigger before your minions kill it, or at least you can just kind of keep an eye out for it. So that's kind of what I recommend there, but these are just kind of standard things. Otherwise, we got Minion Mastery, Poison. Like I said, I wanted to lean into Fizz, so I'm going with Impale on this guy, and I'm also going with Impale on Mighty Silver Fist. And if you don't know what Impale does, so basically every time they attack, they they put an impale onto the enemy, which I believe it's like it stores the damage, right? Stores 30% of the pre-mitigation physical hit damage of the impaling as its magnitude. So basically, when Big Monkey here or the Quadrilla hit something, they will impale it with that 30% damage, and then anything else that attacks will actually extract that impale, which extracts the amount of damage that was stored for it. So it's just kind of like a good chunk of damage that you can have extra sitting around, and they're kind of always getting extracted by, we have our wolves and everything else, so everything that doesn't have impale is extracting that, and it's a pretty good little damage buff. If you don't want to run impale, that's also completely fine. I would say on this, just run like Heft or anything else. Like I said, I'm running Poison 3 just because I am running kind of both the poison and the bleed split on our friends, like you'll see. So actually, if you wanted to as well, you could drop Impale and instead put on Admixture here. Admixture here would also just give them a good bit more drain on whatever poison and bleed is applied to them. So yeah, and then we have Heft here. Heft on our Dune Lurker, Minion Splash, Bleed 3, and Minion Mastery. Pain Offering here, Minion Mastery, Meat Shield. I probably could throw some more gems on it, but yeah, I'm just using that for now. Wolfpack here, the Wolves, and these are Bleed 3, Heft, Minion Splash, Minion Mastery, just so we get more wolves. We have 7 of them out. Our Big Monkey here, we have Bleed 4, because that means that this guy deals more physical damage against targets that are bleeding, but he himself cannot apply bleeding, which is fine. And then we have Impale on him, like I was saying. We have Muster, so he deals more damage for each type of reviving minion. We have quite a few different reviving minion types that are coming out, so that's just a bunch more damage for him there. And then Admixture, which just gives you more magnitude of bleeding and poison against bleeding and poisoned enemies as that goes. And Feeding Frenzy 3, which obviously it makes him a little bit more squishy, but realistically the clerics actually do a really good job of keeping him topped up, of keeping him alive. So I personally think that this is a worthwhile investment. Realistically, not a lot kills him unless it's just like one of those just like really big hits, or like you saw, like where it could just be something that's just kind of melting through and deals a good chunk of damage otherwise. And then our clerics here, which have rapid casting and meat shield. I should probably get another level, put another gem in here and also stuff a minion mastery in here as well. More minion levels is always good, especially for these guys. I can also level these up some more. Only level 13, I have enough int. And then like I said, just keep a tame beast hanging around just in case you find something that you like as you're running around. And that is all that I have for the gem setup. We can go over the tree next. I think the tree is kind of a bigger piece that tags into everything. So like I was saying with Ascendancy, first thing, definitely take Wild Protector. It's actually a really good boost to both survivability, damage, and just everything. The bear is really nice. Katha's Balance, just for the, like I was saying, we are using Giant's Blood, so we should use Katha's Balance so that our companions are gaining a bunch of damage. Until you're able to actually wield something with Giant's Blood, though, definitely just run whatever biggest weapon that you can get your hands on is a spear, one-handed mace, whatever. Just use a big one-hand damage weapon until you get enough strength for that. And then Natural Order here, which of course lets us get our unique beast. And like I was saying, you can play around with some of these. I think there's a lot of fun ones, there's a lot of cool ones. The only thing that I would say is the Burrower was not good, so I would probably say probably don't run the Burrower. But other than that, I think there are a lot of good options out there. That Chimera is probably good, that Scorpion one's probably good, the Crowbell is pretty decent. So lots of options out there, take your pick. And then lastly we'll be taking is Idolatry here. So we are actually going to use most of our slots. Like I'll get rid of the strength and the int here. I'll just fix that on some gear, and then I won't need those anymore anyway. But then otherwise everything is going to have idols in it outside of the weapon. The weapon, we will just eat the -8 to all elemental resistances, just for the sake of making our two-handed weapon as big as we possibly can for the sake of Idolatry. But the rest will just be gems, or the rest will be idols. I'll be honest, I haven't looked fully into all of the idols that are worth using, so I don't actually know what all I'm going to use. I don't think the only thing I know for sure is I'm not going to use a Darkness Enthroned. We just need too many, we just need more resistances, basically, so I think it's going to be too much of an ask to be running to be running a Darkness Enthroned here as well. I also don't necessarily think it's that crazy as well, but who knows? Maybe it is actually good. Maybe I'll look at it in the future. But for the time being, I'm not planning to use a Darkness Enthroned. But otherwise, in the helmet here, there will go the idol for the 8% reservation efficiency of your minions. I actually probably could just slot that in now because I'm planning to keep this hat for at least a little bit longer. And then chest piece, I don't know. Gloves, I don't know. Boots, I don't know. So sorry, I'm actually out of touch as far as idols go. I just kind of look at them whenever I happen to need one. But we'll find something to slot in all those. Just whatever seems to suit the best interests of your build, go ahead and do that. And over in Sylvan's, I'm using a Primate Idol just for allies dealing 40% increased damage. Our presence actually is kind of a decent size, as you can see here. We have a pretty good size on our presence going. With that, though... Oh, actually, no, sorry, that was just talking about this. Okay. And then tree-wise, like I said, we did a ton of traveling, and I kind of just went all the way down south. Went over here and grabbed the companion nodes here for Nourishing Ally and Sikkim. We could also take this one more small node here. This is actually the only small node I haven't taken yet, and you can absolutely take it. I just kind of took it as extra points that I didn't know what to do with. But otherwise, you come down. We got our jewel slot here. Over here, I actually don't really need this either. But I think I took this just because it has increased companion damage on it by default. But over here, Bond of the Wolf. Companions get onslaught on kill. That's nice. Give them increased attack speed here, which is all good. Over here, companions gain your strength. Unfortunately, this isn't Path of Exile 1, where strength means that they're also getting more damage. They're only just getting life from this, but that's fine. We are actually using, obviously, quite a lot of strength, so that is not a bad thing by any means. And then Captivating Companionship really helps keep you alive, really helps keep you going. Over here, we have March for Sickness. This just means that enemies that we mark take increased damage, which is a very nice boost that we just have, and we're using points for that. We have some long-distance relationship action here. Unspoken Bond, just most of the companion nodes around. Some movement speed here, just come up here for the jewel slot, give us some more damage and magnitude. And then over here, this is where we're actually getting a bulk of the poison chance that we have. We have Bond of the Mamba and Bond of the Viper, so that our companions have a chance to poison. We have increased skill effect duration, and which is good for both our marks and for pain offering. And then Bond of the Mountain, though, or Mamba, sorry, gives us damages extra chaos. And up here in this area, we have the, of course, this actually doesn't really matter. Increased reductions of companion damage also apply to you. We aren't damaging anything, so this actually is kind of a moot point. But the other side here, all of our minions are not companions, so this side matters even less, honestly. And there isn't damage on this side. This is survivability, so I just went up this way. Anyway, we have easygoing for reservation efficiency and companion reservation. And we are taking Trusted Kinship as well, even though we can already have the maximum number of... We can have however many companions that we want. This also gives us more reservation efficiency of companions, so we get to further decrease their spirit cost by doing this. It does mean that our clerics cost a little bit more on the spirit front, but realistically, that is a much more worth taking. After that, though, we just kind of go down south. Like I said, we need a lot of stats, so I took the stat wheel here for 7% increased, and these nodes here, which give you equipment and skill gems, have 4% reduced attribute requirements. My next plan probably is to take crystallized immunities here, and I will also probably just fill a good chunk of my thing. I actually don't know how this works if your majority skill gems are tied, if that means that you'll be both immune to chill and ignite. I might test that. If that is the case, then I'm going to just put in 3 int gems just for the sake of it. But if that isn't the case, I would much rather be immune to chill. So I'm going to be going for a majority supported blue, and I'll just shove some things into the discipline aura here from our Sylvans, and that'll be just kind of the plan that I'm going with crystallized immunities there. But otherwise, we come over here, we take this jewel slot, of course, going up here for Giant's Blood, but also, again, just kind of make your way over there when you have enough strength. And then we have some increased armor, and armor applies to elemental damage. If we're getting that much strength, we might as well use armor. We might as well be going into the armor side of things. And then we have over here, this little node, Warlord Leader. Allies in our presence deal 40% increased damage, and increases our presence area of effect. Very nice. We're staying near our companions most of the time anyway, so this is a very good just additional damage boost that they're getting. And then beef! We've got beef! Beef just for the strength. I have the 8 strength here. I was initially planning to come up here to Blade Catcher. I still might, but for now I just have this. So still might go up here for Blade Catcher. Maybe look into any more of this wheel for a slight bit more armor to a boost of our armor, but I think that crystallized immunities is more important first. And yeah, that is our tree as of right now, as of level 85. So like I said, the next few levels is going to be going to there, and then afterwards maybe over here to Blade Catcher or something else along those lines. If I need more all attributes, then I'll get more all attributes. Who knows? We'll play around and we'll see what the dealio is. But there we go, that is the tree here, and now with that we can roll into gear. I'll go kind of quickly through gear, because again, gear isn't all that exciting. Maybe even we'll take a quick look at idols. But like I said, Hammer of Faith is what I'm using currently. Is this the biggest weapon? No, you can get bigger weapons, but they might be kind of expensive. You can look into some big two-handed mace action though, but regardless, this is a very solid one, and it's really cheap too. When I bought this thing, it was legitimately, I think, 2 Exalt. Let's look it up right now. Hammer of Faith. Yep, it's 2 Exalts. Just look for one that has a decent sized increased physical damage roll. The rest of it doesn't matter. And just use it. It's, again, very solid. Gives you all res. Gives us a random shrine. It's quite nice. You run around. Sometimes you get like the speed shrine. Sometimes you get the immunity shrine, which is actually crazy. You get the immunity shrine. Sometimes you get the enlightened buff shrine. So there's any number of good things. This is a very good weapon to just be running around with for at least a time. And then whenever you're able to get your hands on a much bigger damage mace, then go ahead and just rock that and give your companions even more damage with that. So that's all we have there. Gear wise though, it's going to be very, very simple. Outside of everything else, you're just going to be looking for resistances. You're going to be looking for things that you know, you'll be looking for resistances, defenses, and stats. Stats is probably going to be the most important thing. Got to make sure you have enough stats to wield literally everything. So you need a good bit of dex so that you can use your companions. You need a good bit of int so that you can be using both Sylvans, and so that you can use your skeleton clerics and the pain offering and all that kind of good stuff. So make sure that you have enough stats for sure. Defenses, life, resistances, those are all going to be next in line as the more important things. Any flat increases to damage or whatever else don't matter at all, so there's a lot of moot points. I do know on the breach tree, you can now start to get items with minion skills on, or like minion specific things on it, like this over here. Minions have 13% increased critical hit chance. This is actually kind of a decent ring, all things considered, so maybe look for something like that as well. Go onto Breach and just set up, I think you can get it on belts too, you know, try to get something on a belt, on a ring, on an amulet, something that has increased minion damage on it in some capacity. That would probably be the most min-maxy that you could really go with this. But otherwise, just try to get, again, defenses, life, resistances, stats. Those are your core things that you need. Some of these pieces have to be replaced for me, like these boots don't really matter, so those are going to be replaced. This belt is going to go. This ring over here will probably go. This chest piece, I think, will probably go, but it served me well for the time being. Sylvan's is definitely the most expensive piece of this build, especially if you are looking for one to use right as you hit level 72. Yeah, it was expensive. I think I got lucky. I found one. I happened to, from my previous character, have quite a few divines. I had 13 divine, or actually I had 14 divines at the time, and somebody happened to be selling one for 13 exactly, so I was able to buy one and use it, and then I actually still was able to divine orbit to try to make the rolls a bit better. So do what you can to get your hands on a Sylvan's, but realistically, the price goes down drastically if you don't need to use it exactly at level 72. Just wait until you get to a slightly higher level, and you'll see that it's really not that much. It gets like way cheaper. It really goes from like 13. It goes from like that 19 divines down to like 4 or 5, maybe anywhere. Like it basically goes to under 10. So if you're able to just stick with a couple of companions and just run around with like a Malice Scepter or something along those lines, then you'll still be completely fine off. until you're able to get your hands on a Sylvan's. But Sylvan's is still very nice, so just try to get yourself a good one if you can. If not, buy a bad one and then divine it anyway. Divines are relatively common in this league. I have an extra 4 that I've just dropped very randomly. You know what? Screw it. Let's look at idols just really quickly. Actually, I don't even care about the price. So gloves, which one would I slot into gloves? Nope. 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 This is going to be giga expensive. Guard equal 10% of your max life for not taking a savage hit. Oh wait, what's glove one? Max block chance if you've blocked with a raised shield recently. We sure aren't doing that. That means you critically hit. That does not really matter. I mean, we could look at this, but this is going to be giga expensive. Let's look at it in Divine Orbs. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. I guess get that if you're able to, but that's rich. That's too rich for my blood, so I'll be using something completely random and bad. So I'll probably just be using maybe this one. Who knows? Something along those lines. Oots. What are we using? Oh boy, is this actually... Gain onslaught for 4 seconds when your marks are active. How expensive is that? Maybe that one. That's pretty expensive even just for the sake of doing that. I think for the sake of just doing something that doesn't really matter, I would just use the Idol of Yena there. Again, I'm looking at that in Divine Orbs, so that's way over the top price-wise. So don't even pay attention to that. Body armor, what do we use? Idle Saga in this game, they benefit their bond. Oh, I don't know what the bonded mods are anymore. Charm slot, nope. Collection, nope. Panther Idol's actually not bad. Panther Idol, I actually don't hate that one. Yeah, that was the really expensive one. So yeah, maybe just Panther plus maybe just Fox and Panther. Fox plus something. I actually don't know what the bonded modifiers are, so I can't really speak to that. But that's probably what I'd go for there. And then helmet, there is one that gives you reservation efficiency. It is this one. Reservation efficiency of minion skills. This is what I would use in my helmet. There you go. So that's probably what I'm going to use. Oh, I guess very quickly as well with the amulet, because you can anoint things. The only thing that I've really considered anointing, or I did look this up. It's very expensive though, but I would anoint this gigantic following. You'd have to probably make sure you have enough spirit to actually make use of this. Maybe with the helmet, it offsets it enough to where it'd be okay. But just your minions being gigantic by default is great. I did look it up. There is also the From Nothing jewel that you get from fighting King in the Mists. If you're able to get one that is Necromantic Talisman, that does reach over to Gigantic Following, and you could also take Regenerative Flesh to make your minions a little bit thicker as well. So that's also not a bad setup. It would just be, you'd just be taking it for those 2 points. I don't really think there was anything else worthwhile nearby, so you'd be taking it just for those 2 points. It's expensive to anoint this, but I believe it's even more expensive to buy a From Nothing with Necromantic Talisman. I want to say this was like close to 25 or 30 divines when I looked at it, so up to you. Otherwise, if you got a From Nothing that has Elemental Equilibrium, you could hit Right Hand of Darkness, and since we are doing chaos damage, the Withered on hit is actually pretty good, and Increased Area of Effect ain't bad too, so the Wither on hit actually not bad there. So yeah, those are the 2 options I would do with like a From Nothing type setup if you wanted to. Otherwise, I would just anoint Gigantic Following and make sure that you have enough reservation efficiency for that. And yeah, I believe that is this whole character. Is everything that I can think of. As I said, the most important pieces, just keep an eye out for beasts that have good rare modifiers on them for you to steal. And then just keep an eye out for bigger and bigger weapons to slot onto yourself. But YouTube, I hope you enjoyed. I have had such a good time playing this character in this build, and I'm very excited to continue to play more. So I hope you enjoy, and I will see you. And until I see you next time, stay sane out there, Exiles.